Hey guys, we got some exciting news today from the FFG Live. We received our first spoilers for Shadows of the Galaxy. I'm super excited. This is actually one of the feature art that was in the article. We have Maul, Dr. Aphra, and Cad Bane. I really like all these three characters, but I really love Cad Bane. I'm looking forward to seeing eventually the spoiler for Cad Bane. All right, let's go ahead and get started and look at the spoilers. The first spoiler was Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon's leader topside action reads action exhaust. Attack with a unit that costs 3 or less. If it's attacking a unit, it gets +1 +0 for this attack. So this allows any of 3 cost units. If it's attacking another unit, it actually increases its power by 1 to hopefully kill that unit, and then hopefully keep your unit alive in that process. Gideon's epic action. If you control 5 or more resources, deploy this leader. I think 5 resources is actually a great number for most leaders to get deployed. In the current meta, where it tends to be a lot more aggro when new sets drop, 5 resources is it's a good time to deploy a leader, because most aggro games, in my experience, tend to end around resource count 6 or 7. Now, once you deploy Moff Gideon, he has Overwhelm. He's a 5 cost unit with 3/6. And then his ability essentially is each friendly unit that costs 3 or more gets +1 and 0 and gains Overwhelm while attacking. So this is, again, a improvement, just like all the previous leaders. When you deploy them, their ability gets better. It's better because, number 1, you don't have to exhaust them. Number 2, it's every friendly unit that costs 3 or less gets +1 and 0. When he's in the leader form, top form, non-deployed, it's you only could give that ability to 1 unit, and it has to be attacking a unit in order to get +1. Whereas in the deployed leader unit, it can be any unit that costs 3 or less, and it gains Overwhelm. Again, it's going to be while attacking an enemy unit. I think that's a very good ability. So the idea behind Moff Gideon is you're probably going to want to stack up a bunch of 3-drop units, and then essentially overwhelm your opponent with 3 cost units. He's a very, very good leader, I think. The next card is the Phase 3 Dark Trooper. This is a 3 cost, 3/3 unit, has Sentinel, and when combat damage is dealt to this unit, give an experience token to this unit. I think this card is really good. It's literally going to be replacing Cell Block Guard. Cell Block Guard is a 3 cost, 3/3 with Sentinel. But this card is superior simply for the fact that when combat damage dealt to this unit, you can give an experience token. So if this is your 3-drop and then you attack another unit, you can exhaust Moff Gideon to give it +1/0. That means now it's a 4/3. If it's a 2/2 power enemy unit, you're going to kill it. Right, it leaves 1 health on the Dark Trooper, but now you give it an experience token, which gives it 1/1. So now he becomes a 4/2. So then the next time you attack, again, you use the Moff Gideon action. You're attacking, and if you attack with another unit, you're going to increase its power by 1. So now he becomes a 5/2. So he'll be able to ramp up pretty quickly. The great thing I do like about this is that it's just when combat damage is dealt to the unit and he survives it. So I think a good strategy might be, how could we heal the Dark Trooper so that we can attack again and he keeps getting stronger and stronger. I am definitely going to be interested in playing Moff Gideon and kind of building a Zerging essentially strategy. The next card is Calculated Lethality. It's a 4 cost. Defeat a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less. For each upgrade that was on that unit, give an experience token to a friendly unit. So this card is interesting in the fact that it's a little bit more of a control to kill a 3 or less unit. And then if they have an upgrade on it, you can give an experience token to a friendly unit, and it's for each one. So if a 3 cost unit had 2 upgrades and you defeat them with calculated lethality, you can give 2 experience tokens to a friendly unit. So going back to the phase 3 Dark Trooper, probably might be a good strategy to put it on him, because you can give him 2 units and he becomes 2/2 stronger, right? Now, in terms of actual play, I don't know if this card's going to see much play, because right now the current meta doesn't really use many upgrades except for maybe on your leader occasional upgrade. I do know that with this set, we're going to have a lot more upgrades in play because of the whole archetype of the Mandalorians, that they have a bunch of upgrades. They have jetpacks, they have guns, they have rifles, they have armor, right? All of that is all part of what a Mandalorian archetype is. So I think from a 2-player perspective, this might be helpful, because I think that's going to be the strategy of how the Mandalorian in the 2-starter deck, the 2-player starter deck is going to work. Next card, Gideon's Light Cruiser. This is an 8 cost 7/8 space unit. It has Overwhelm, and when played, if you control Moff Gideon as a leader or unit, play a villainy unit that costs 3 or less from your hand or discard pile for free. Again, this is an awesome ship. I mean, if you're playing Moff Gideon, the whole goal is to have a bunch of 3-drops to utilize his ability as a leader or a ground unit leader, and just playing until you can get up to your 7 or 8 resources, and then try to bring in your Gideon Light Cruiser to seal the game out. Just playing him, you can go grab one of your phase 3 Dark Trooper, right, and get him back into the game. You got Sentinel now, and then maybe you can start giving him some experience counters. I think this is a pretty beefy ship. Has a great effect. I definitely am going to be considering playing Moff Gideon when the new set drops, building like a Zerg 3 cost unit army with some bigger ships in there. Okay, now moving to the other side, the hero side of the 2-player set, we have the Mandalorian. I really like the art on the Mandalorian. It looks pretty cool. It's just like a signature Mandalorian. You see all the laser blasts everywhere, and he's just out there just shooting away. Now, the leader unit side of the Mandalorian says when you play an upgrade, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, exhaust an enemy unit with 4 or less remaining HP. Again, how I mentioned earlier, it looks like the Mandalorian's strategy in the 2-player set, probably playing upgrades on him, and then or on any of your ground units or space units, then you can exhaust them and then exhaust an enemy unit with 4 or less remaining HP. I think this is a great way to help counter some of Moff Gideon's 3-drops that deck is looking like to be focusing on. Again, this actually in the current meta, we don't use that many upgrades, but again, with this new character and this new set, it looks like we're going to be focusing a little bit more on upgrades. So I think that's going to be potentially a good ability. It just really depends on the number of upgrades that are out and if they're actually really good. Now, you can deploy the Mandalorian as a ground unit at 6 or more resources. 6 resources starts being that little, I think almost that cut point where if you don't have your leader out, you can potentially lose the game, because the game can go quick if you're playing a lot of aggro type decks, right? Those are your Sabines, your Bobas, your Leias, right? They move fast, right? So this could be one resource too high that might cost you the game if you weren't able to prevent a lot of your opponent's damage. But when he is deployed, he's a 6 cost 4/7 unit, and he has this flat abilities. When you play an upgrade, you may exhaust an enemy unit with 6 or less remaining HP. So that would be playing an upgrade on the Mandalorian. That could be playing an upgrade on another character. That's actually very, very good. So before you deploy your Mandalorian, you can first use the leader action to exhaust a unit. Then you deploy the Mandalorian. Then you put in a rifle or upgrade, and then you can now exhaust another enemy. So it's a great way to help prevent damage to your base, and hopefully limit the amount of aggro onto your base. But we'll see how good actually upgrades are going to be in this set. The next card is Wanted. This is actually has a new keyword called Bounty. Wanted attached unit gains Bounty, ready to friendly resources. When this unit is defeated or captured, its opponent collects this bounty. So the whole idea about this upgrade is you're going to play this upgrade on your opponent's unit, and then you're going to try to kill that unit or capture it so that you can ready to friendly resources and hopefully allow you to deploy another upgrade or deploy another unit to continue building your board state. Again, bounty is a zero. It adds 0/0 on it. The way I see using Wanted in the current meta, I would play Wanted on one of my opponent's weaker characters or characters that are about to die. And then if I'm on Energy Conversion Lab, you use the epic action, play your ground unit, and then attack it. Now you got 2 resources ready, which is, I think, very, very cool. Other than that, I'm curious how many bounties are going to be in the game to make them actually a viable strategy with set 2 comes out. The next card, the Mandalorian's Rifle. 3 cost upgrade, attached to a friendly non-vehicle unit. When played, if attached unit is the Mandalorian, he captures an exhausted enemy non-leader unit. Put the capture card face down under him until he leaves play. So the Mandalorian's Rifle is +3 at power, +0 defense. So I think this is actually going to have a good synergy with the Mandalorian. The idea would be is you use the Mandalorian's leader action to exhaust one of your enemy's opponent on your turn after you play an upgrade, obviously. And then your next turn, the Mandalorian is deployed. You're going to play the Mandalorian's Rifle, and now you can capture the non-leader unit. So I would say a good target for this is probably going to be any sentinels that your enemy or your opponent may have. And then you can capture them. And then plus an upgrade that makes the Mandalorian stronger with 3 more powers is always a good thing, right? The next item here is the Razor Crest. It is a 4 cost, 3/4 space unit. It has Restore 2, which is very good. Allows you to heal 2 damage from your base when this unit attacks. And when played, you may return an upgrade from your discard pile to your hand. I think, again, we're looking at the Mandalorian having this upgrade theme package, right? So if you use all your wanteds and you're going to drop the Razor Quest, this is a good way to grab the up wanted back into your hat, play the upgrade on an opponent's enemy unit, and then try to kill that unit so you can get the bounty of reading 2 resources. At 4 costs, 3/4, I think is a good damage, but with the Restore 2, I think this is what really sets it aside. And also, obviously, the when played ability is very good. I really like the Razor Crest. I think it's going to be definitely, probably, if you go with the Mandalorian's upgrade package, I think it's going to be a must in his deck. And the last spoiler is Grogu. Grogu is a 2 cost unit, has 0 power with 5 defense. He has a keyword Force, and his action says exhaust an enemy unit. So you exhaust Grogu and you can exhaust an enemy unit. I think this is actually very good because it just says enemy unit. That means it can exhaust a ground unit or space unit. It doesn't even matter if it's a big powerful ship. Like if Moff Gideon's light cruiser is out and you have initiative, your first action would be probably to exhaust Grogu so you can exhaust the light cruiser, right? 5 defense is pretty really good actually for a 2 cost character. That means they can't die in the first round or two, which is very good. But I think the real important thing is that he has a keyword force, so you can actually potentially play, I believe, Jedi lightsaber on Grogu, and now Grogu will be able to attack and have a little bit more defense as well. Grogu is actually, I think, a very good card, and I really look forward to see if he's actually going to be viable in the meta when Set 2 comes out. But that's all the spoilers for today, so let me go ahead and thank you for your time. And if you're new to my channel, I am focusing on bringing content that's deck techs, news, spoilers, tournament coverage on 3 TCGs. Obviously, Star Wars Unlimited. I'm also going to be focusing on some Lorcana as well as Flesh and Blood. I would like to know from you guys in the comments, what did you think about the cards from this set? Spoiler. What do you think about the Mandalorian and Moff Gideon? Are you excited about any of the cards? Let us know in the comments.